Thanks for staying with the NCN 6 o'clock news. The prices for eggs and chicken on the local markets are to remain stable through the coming Christmas season. This was announced by Commerce Minister Manoram Prashad today, as he noted that there is no need for importation of the poultry and its produce during this time. Here's more.
There is an adequate amount of supply of chicken for the Christmas season. In fact, I'm told by the President of the Poultry Producers Association, Mr. De Groot, that for this period, November, December, as compared to 2007, they have 15% more production in the system as far as chicken is concerned. And from all indication, the price will remain stable. And we have an adequate amount of chicken in the system, so there's no need for the importation of any chicken.
The tourism minister met with the president and other members of the Poultry Association and hatchery dealers in a bid to keep the prices of these commodities stable. He told reporters that for the entire 2008, there was no need for the importation of chicken or eggs since there was an adequate supply on the markets. Prashad is of the opinion that Guyana is self-sufficient in the production of the poultry meat. He is therefore encouraging citizens to secure their supply of eggs early, as it would be a greater demand during this season.
The two leading hatcheries, that is Eden Hatcheries and Fongafat Hatcheries, they are here and they've given me the assurance there's an adequate supply of eggs in the marketplace. However, they're urging you to buy your eggs early, because sometimes at Christmas, even though there is an oversupply of eggs, come down to the last week in Christmas, the price goes up a little, and then in January, the prices come down.
With the broiler production, all the hatching eggs used to produce the broiler chicken are imported from the U.S. We monitor the importation of the eggs, so we can calculate in 11 weeks' time what the production of chicken will be in the country. We use an average hatchability and average percent mortality, and you can work out how much chicken you will have. So we already know what chicken there is in the system that we will be able to process from now till the end of the year.
The Hindu had their fast. The sale of eggs went down, so their indication from other farmers, they had the same problems, so there should be a surplus coming out from that backlog that they have.
Meanwhile, the Commerce Minister pointed out that the price for bread is expected to be reduced by this weekend according to an agreement. This will be further addressed if stakeholders do not maintain their part of the deal. Ernestine Jagnorine reporting for the NCN 6 o'clock news.
The Guyana Revenue Authority says it is concerned about the large number of individuals and entities involved in the international telephone business. According to a GRA release, the effects of these operations are significantly affecting the reduction in revenue collected from legitimate providers of international telephone service. The release added that these individuals and businesses have created illegal telecommunication networks. The GRA is concerned that the operations are increasing rapidly and their impact on the national revenue collection is too significant to ignore. The release noted that individuals and businesses found to be circumventing or violating the laws administered by the GRA will be prosecuted. Members of the public are also being urged to report the existence of this type of operation to the Guyana Revenue Authority. A 23-year-old private of the GDF Coast Guard is sentenced 5 years imprisonment after he was charged for stealing a weapon from the Army. He made an appearance in the Georgetown Magistrates Court today. Details in this report.
The first charge states that between November 14 and 17 at Ramp Road, Ramville, he stole a 9mm pistol, property of the Guyana Defense Force, but Travis Sobers was allowed to plea to the indictable charge. He pleaded guilty, however, to the second charge, which stated that between November 14 and 17, he had in his possession a 9mm pistol without being the holder of a firearm license. He also pleaded guilty to the charge of unlawful possession of ammunition during the same period. And the fourth charge stated that between November 14 and 17, he stole 50 rounds of 9mm ammunition valued $4,500, property of the Guyana Defense Force. Sobers is accused of stealing the 9mm pistol and 50 matching rounds ammunition from the MV Essequibo vessel, giving it to his friend Kevin Martin. An investigation was conducted and Sobers was interviewed by members of the GDF, where he was handed over to the police, who conducted further investigation. However, attorney-at-law James Bond, who appeared on behalf of Sobers, told the court in his submissions that the defendant sought to come clean of his transgressions and is throwing himself at the mercy of the court. He also told the court that Sobers showed a lot of promise in his short stay at the Coast Guard and was selected to sail on the USS Kearsarge. Mr. Bond further stated that the weapon was given to Sobers by a senior officer of whom he is protecting, since he had no direct access to the weapon. The lawyer added that his client is willing to take all the responsibilities and sees himself as the wrongdoer. Meanwhile, Sobers told his mother in tears that he was sorry for what he had done. He was sentenced to 2 years for the indictable simple larceny and 18 months for the other simple larceny. He was fined $75,000 along with 3 years imprisonment for possession of ammunition and possession of firearm. However, the ammunition and simple larceny will run concurrently, and the indictable simple larceny and firearm will run consecutively, so he will in turn serve 5 years in prison. Reporting for the NCN 6 o'clock news, Adeli Rampersad.
Guyana will be hosting the 48th Caribbean Meteorological Council of Ministers meeting from November 27 to December 2 at the International Conference Center. The body meets once a year to define the organization's policy, which provides the framework for regional and international cooperation. The meeting aims to promote and coordinate regional activities in the fields of meteorology and operational hydrology. Agriculture Minister Robert Prasad is slated to chair the 6-day event. Women are being urged to strive towards economic independence on the observance of International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. Provincial President for Family Life Commission Leila Austin says many women find themselves in abusive relationships because of economic constraints. Details from Monica Jones.
The Mothers Union in Guyana held a panel discussion where the highlight was women's refusal to end abusive relationships because of the lack of financial support. Family Life Commission Provincial President Leila Austin says many women lack self-esteem.
Women have got to gain economic independence and self-worth. We've got to stop blaming ourselves for violence meted out to us. Women have got to stop denying their pain and defending their abusers. We have got to stop seeing violence as a cross that we have to carry.
Austin believes that men should also be responsible of ending violence in society. Meanwhile, Commissioner for the National Commission on the Rights of the Child, Sheila George, commended government for its progress in eliminating the issue. George says physical punishment has indeed been a Caribbean culture which constitutes the violence against children. She says the behavior is passed on since children viewed this as an acceptable way of resolving conflict.
Violence through beatings is equally ineffective as a means of discipline for children, as most teachers would have discovered. Violence is self-generating. It produces cycles of perpetrators and reinforces the belief that it is appropriate for adults to violate children who are the most vulnerable members of the society.
According to United Nations officials, violence against women is the least punished crime in the world. The UN is therefore urging governments to end the widespread impunity by ensuring that the laws and policies aimed at protecting women and girls are enforced. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon launched a global campaign, Unite to End Violence Against Women, with a 2015 deadline to coincide with the target date for meeting the Millennium Development Goals. Monica Jones, the 6 o'clock news.